Hello, and welcome to my thought on this very lovely Tuesday. The temperature was just right. And I was thinking, because of this coronavirus thing, how we're told we mustn't talk to strangers. And the truth is, the talking to strangers has carried me through to all the adventures I've had in my life. And I'm going to tell you the story of one of those conversations with strangers. When I moved, when I drove, people who know me know I drove a 24-foot camper in a GMC truck across country from Texas to Redwood City, California. And I arrived there in Redwood City in a recreational vehicle camp on December 24th, 1980. And the lady said to me, you can rent a space tonight, but tomorrow is Christmas, December 23rd. I arrived there on 23rd. And the lady said, you can rent a space tonight, but tomorrow is Christmas Eve, and we don't have room for you. And I said, they said that to another nice Jewish woman, and you know what she did when she didn't have room at the inn. She started a new, she had a baby, and he started a new religion. Well, I didn't have a baby, and I didn't start a new religion. But instead, I took the trailer and the truck out the next day and drove to get petrol for the truck, because it drank petrol hauling this 24-foot fifth wheel trailer. And I stopped in the biggest parking lot I could find because I couldn't see a petrol station. Those of you who are from California, on El Camino, there weren't any at that particular place in Redwood City. I couldn't find a petrol station. So I pulled into a shopping area for QFI supermarkets. And when I did, I saw a woman, and I will never forget her. She had blonde curls like Shirley Temple. She was without doubt the homeliest woman I had ever seen, walking with the handsomest man I have ever seen. She was in her 50s, he was in his late 20s. And I went up to them because I had to find a place to stay the next day, and I told them about my plight. They were strangers, but they said to me, you can come over to our place, you can plug your fifth wheel into our electricity and our water, and I will make you a Christmas dinner. Her name was JoJo. I moved in, I drove the truck and the trailer to her on her street, and I plugged into her water and her electricity through a cord through her bedroom window. We had Christmas dinner, and she invited her friend who was her boss because she ran a magazine dating service. And he came in and he said, so what's the problem? And I said, well, I'm here now. I have to find a place to stay, and I have to find a job. And his name was Marvin, and another stranger. And he said, I have always wanted to go camping. If I traded your fifth wheel and your truck for 3 years' rent on a house and gave you a car, how would you like that? And I said, well, I'd like to see the house. And he took me to see the house, and it was 3021 Glendale. It was about the size of a disabled toilet. I remember when I first went into a disabled toilet at Stanford University, I thought, oh my God, this is as big as my house. But it was an adorable little house. It was absolutely adorable. And I emptied my trailer of all my possessions. It filled the house because it was a one-bedroom house with a lovely little kitchen. And I had a 3 years lease on that and a Valiant to drive. Um, and then the woman that had said to me, you can plug into our house, whose name was JoJo, said to me, I'll give you a job. And I said, what do you do? She said, well, I fix up people on dates. So though I was 48 years old, I was extremely innocent. And I thought, oh, isn't that nice? I said, how do you do that? She said, well, I put ads in the paper and when in a magazine, and when they give them a phone number, and when they call, I find a woman to go out with them. And we do it in the Bay Area. And I thought, oh, isn't that nice? I'll be fixing up people, and I'm Jewish, and I'd like to fix up people and let them find love. I didn't know that I wasn't selling love, I was selling sex. And one of my favorite stories, I had no idea, but I went at this job. I was sure I was going to have, I remember I said to JoJo, did you have many marriages? She said, well, no, I never got to that. But I got a card file, and I filed all the women that answered this ad, we need women. And I had all the men in another card file. And I remember one young man called me up, and he said, I love women. And I said, well, good, I have a lot for you. And he said, okay. I said, here, I'll take anybody you've got. And I said to him, is there anything you don't like about a woman so I can fix you up properly? And he said, yeah, I'm not into S&M. And I said, well, if you don't want someone from San Mateo County, I'll get you someone from Santa Clara. And he hung up. And I didn't understand why he hung up. So I put the hand over the phone, and I was in a large office with a lawyer and a real estate agent. And I said in my very loud voice, I called Marvin, the man who gave me my flat. I said, Marvin, what's S&M? And the silence, I could have cut the silence. I had no idea what I was talking about, and they never told me. But I called up my father, who was 77, and I said to him, Daddy, what is S&M? And he told me. And I thought, oh my God, if he had used that on my mother, he might have been a much happier man. And thank you very much for joining me for my thought on this lovely, lovely Tuesday.